everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week my video is going to be very different to what I usually do. Obviously when I put my video live last Sunday, I had filmed that before the Queen had died. I filmed it, edited it, literally scheduled it to go up before obviously the news that the Queen passed. And I did think about not posting it, but I thought it's, you know, our lives do have to go on, so I did post that. But obviously over this last week, everybody is feeling slightly strange. It's something that the majority of us have never lived through before. I was talking to my grandma only, well, it was last week. I called her and she said she remembers when the King died. She said she was about 12 years old. So unless you're that sort of generation, then we have never been through this before. And even my grandma, I don't know how much of it all she remembers. You know, obviously we've been following it on the news, on the TV, with everything that's been going on with the Queen. So it's all very surreal for us, and I didn't feel like posting a normal video, an autumnal video and things like that this week would necessarily be, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it felt right, and I thought I would just go with what I wanted to post this week. And so I thought I would share a few little snippets of how myself and Karl have paid our respects. We went to Windsor. We live only about half an hour from Windsor, so we went there. We've never been there before, and we went to see the flowers that were laid, and it just so happened, we didn't even know that it was happening that day. We went last Sunday and it just so happened that it was the proclamation of the new king, King Charles III, that was happening in Windsor on that day. And we saw everyone lying in the streets. I asked a policewoman what was happening and she told us, so we hung around for another half an hour and the parade and everything started. It was one of those situations where we were in the right place at the right time, and I think it will definitely be something that we will remember for the rest of our lives. And even though I personally have never met the Queen, it's weird in how you feel. The day that we found out, see, the Thursday, myself and Karl, like, we were both working, and when we first saw each other after hearing the news, we both felt, well, Karl's not a very emotional person, I am. I felt quite emotional about it, and seeing it all on the news, we've obviously all known this was going to happen, but when it actually happens, it's very, very different. So I thought I would share a few snippets of video footage that I took whilst we were in Windsor last Sunday with you all.
and glorious memory, by whose decease the crown of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is solely and rightfully come to the Prince Charles Philip Arthur George. We therefore, the Lords spiritual and temporal of this realm, and members of the House of Commons, together with other members of Her late Majesty's Privy Council and representatives of the realms and territories, aldermen and citizens of London and others, do now hereby, with one voice and consent of tongue and heart, publish and proclaim that the Prince Charles Philip Arthur George is now, by the death of our late sovereign of happy memory, become our only lawful and rightful liege lord, Charles III, by the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of his other realms and territories, King, head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith, to whom we acknowledge all faith and obedience with humble affection, beseeching God, by whom kings and queens do reign, to bless Her Majesty, His Majesty, with long and happy years to reign over us. Given at St. James's this 10th day of September in the year of our Lord 2022, God save the King! God save the King!
Like I said, I'd never met the Queen personally, but over this last week I do feel like I have thought more about my career in the RAF. If you're not aware, I did serve for 13 years in the Royal Air Force. I only left October last year officially. And yeah, I feel like this last week I've thought more about my RAF career and my time in the service than I have since I left, really. And in discussions that I've had with Karl in particular over this last week since the Queen died, we've spoken about obviously everything that's going to change, and I've dug out this little box that I have. So when I left the RAF, I had to hand my uniform and everything back, and a lot of the stuff went back, but I did keep hold of a few bits, and this box I will keep forever. And I haven't looked inside it since I left the RAF a year ago and put this box together, and this last week I have opened it and it makes me feel weirdly emotional. I also dug out a folder that I got given when I first joined the Air Force. This is it here. It says Royal Air Force Personal Development Record. I was given this when I very first joined and was always told anything that, you know, you achieve, certificates, all things like that, put in this folder. So that's what I did over the years, and you can see it's fairly full. It's got even things, and just looking through it, and I just thought I'd share this with you because this is the sorts of things I've been doing over the last week, just to remember and, you know, just in my own way, and sort of reminisce and just think about what she meant to me and all of us, really. And I know everyone deals with these things in a different way, and I just thought it would be nice to have a video solely on my thoughts and just about this time, because in years to come it will probably be quite nice to look back on and remember. And yeah, so in my folder I've got my GCSE results certificates, my A-level results certificates, and then obviously I've got my RAF bits and pieces. And in here, which I thought you might find quite interesting, is, let me see if I can find it again. Gosh, I've even got my first certificate. I forgot they even did these. This is to certify that Charlotte Jordan has been provisionally accepted by the Royal Air Force for recruit training at Royal Air Force Halton. That was dated the 15th of August 2008. My first day at recruit training was the 3rd of September 2008. So almost, oh my goodness, yeah, so it would almost be 14 years. 14 years ago this month I was doing my recruit training. How bizarre is that? And then this is the thing that I thought you might find quite interesting, is the Oath of Allegiance certificate I've got in here, which we had to say when we joined. And I'll just read it to you because I don't know why, but it just makes me, it's one of those things that I don't think you can really put into words. I don't know why. I'm an emotional person anyway, but it just, yeah, I've had moments like this over the last week, and it's just, I don't know if it's me getting tearful for her or my career that's obviously, I don't know, it's just a weird feeling. Anyway, I'll read it to you. So the Oath of Allegiance. I, Charlotte Jordan, affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs and successors, and that I will, as in duty bound, honestly and faithfully defend Her Majesty, her heirs and successors, in person, crown and dignity against all enemies, and will observe and obey all orders of Her Majesty, her heirs and successors, and of the air officers and other officers set over me. That's what I said when I joined the RAF. And that's signed and dated the 3rd of September 2008. That's mad. I haven't read that in 14 years, or said that in 14 years. And that's really interesting. Obviously, I'll always have that. I've always kept it. I'm always going to have that, and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and then her heirs and successors, so now King Charles III. Obviously I'm not in the military anymore, but it's still, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, that's one little thing that I thought I would share with you. And then, because I know I don't talk about my RAF career very much on my channel, obviously I was still in when I started my channel, so I never, yeah, it was difficult to talk about my job really, because I dealt with a lot of serious things in my job that I did when I started YouTube, so it wasn't really something that I could talk about much. But now I can talk about different aspects, and you may not be interested, but you may also be interested as well, because this was a massive part of my life. You know, I'm 35 this year, so I was in for 13 years, massive part of my life. And this is my day that I graduated recruit training. My picture, 4th of November 2008, AC Jordan, aircraftsman or aircraftswoman. And I've even got, oh my gosh, I just keep too much stuff. I've even got the graduation parade like booklet that they did for obviously the itinerary of the day. Air Vice Marshal Nick Kurth was my reviewing officer. And so in this box as well, like I said, I've never met the Queen, but I have met a member of the royal family. I've seen Prince Harry. I wouldn't say I met him. I saw him when I was away at Al Minhad Air Base in 2015. I was out there for 6 months, and he came into the mess, the cookhouse where we had our dinner. I was eating my dinner with a friend and he literally walked in, and yeah, it was so bizarre. Literally probably like 10 meters away from me. I've seen Camilla. She came to open a what's she called now, the Queen Consort. She came to open a medical centre when I was based at RAF Leeming. Again, I didn't meet her personally, but I saw her across the road. But one of the ladies that I did meet was the Countess of Wessex, and I've got this picture here. When I met her, I was mid-introducing myself in that picture, which is why my face looks like that. But yeah, I was the only female on the parade. I'd just come back from Afghanistan and I was being presented with my medal, and she was I suppose she was representing the Queen. She was there representing the Queen to give us our medals, and I was there with the rest of the people on the parade were all RAF regiment. And obviously I was RAF police, and yeah, the only female on the parade. So she did chat to me a little bit, being the only female there. But yeah, it was a really lovely moment, and I still have that photo. Yeah. And my Afghan medal, I've only had a look at this morning and it needs a polish, so I apologise. Oh. But I thought I would show it to you, because here it is. It definitely needs a polish. But that was my Afghan medal that the Countess of Wessex presented to me. I still keep it in the box that it came in. And then other things in my box, this RAF police armband I kept, that we used to wear around, well, that they still do obviously, wear around their arm in number 1 uniform. I kept my stable belt because I had to buy this myself, so I thought I'm keeping that. And it says Royal Air Force Police on the buckle there. And I also got another medal, which was when I went to Cyprus, where I met Karl actually, because I was flying in and out of Iraq, Operation Shader, and it says my name. They basically engrave, sorry, there it is. They basically engrave around the outside. So around the outside it says, I was corporal at the time, Corporal C. Jordan, RAF, and my service number. And obviously on the other side of it has the Queen's face, and it's the same on the Afghan medal, I believe. I think on the other side, oh gosh, I need to fix that. Properly. Yeah, so it has her face on this side, and then it says operational service there, and then on the edge again, Corporal C. Jordan, RAF, and my service number, which I think I will always remember. And then the last thing that's in this box, oh no, I've got 2 things. My whistle, I used to wear this, yeah, with the uniform, and my dog tags from when I went to Afghanistan. My blood group, my service number, my surname, my initial, my religion on there. But also something really special. It's not mine, it's Karl's, because obviously I wasn't in the Air Force with the Jubilee this year, but I thought this was really special that we have in our household. Again, does it have the engraving on with this? I'm not sure, because it's slightly different. You didn't have to do an operational tour for this one. This was obviously if you'd been serving for a certain amount of time when, see, the Jubilee was. So no, this doesn't have Karl's details on it, but it does have, this is the medal for the Queen's Jubilee this year, which was really special. It's really special to have this, because also on the other side it says the years, obviously, of her reign. So 1952 to 2022. How special is that to have as a memory? We've said that when Karl leaves the RAF, because obviously we can't put them in a frame yet because he will have to wear these on his uniform. He has his mounted, he'll have to get this one mounted as well. Yeah, he'll have to wear them on uniform on occasion. But when he leaves and he doesn't need them on his uniform anymore, we're going to get my medals and his medals in a frame together and put them up in our house somewhere, because they're things that we just put away in a box and we don't really think about. But they're really special, and yeah, I thought I'd just share these little bits with you because it's not something I really do. But I hope, however you've taken the news, or however you're dealing with it, or however you're feeling, I hope you are well. And it's a weird time, but yeah, we carry on. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens going forward. But we'll probably never see, well, I don't think we will, another queen in our lifetime, because obviously it's King Charles, then William, and George after him. So yeah, definitely a moment in history. I thought I would share those few little bits with you, a bit of a walk down memory lane, sharing how we've paid our respects this last week. And I hope you're good, and I will resume with my usual vlogs next Sunday. I'm actually going to have quite a busy weekend. When you're watching this, I will have already had a busy weekend. I'll probably be on my way home when you're watching this, because it's my first Tropic Glammies. If you don't know, Tropic usually do an in-person big party, celebration, launch of new products twice a year. Obviously over the last few years they haven't been able to do them in person. This is the first one. This is my first one that I'm attending in person. So keep your eyes peeled for that video coming in the next week. And also they are obviously launching new products. Keep your eyes peeled for the video of all the new products that are being launched, and will be launched in this next week. So I think they're being launched on Wednesday. They will be live, so keep your eyes peeled for those. I will bring you a video showing you in person all the products that are new, all the festive collections that are going to be available leading up to Christmas. So yeah, lots of exciting stuff to come. But yeah, if I'm a bit silent on my group, on my Instagram pages and things like that, obviously it's just to show some respect for the Queen's funeral tomorrow. So I hope you're all well. I hope you have a lovely weekend, or have had a lovely weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Back to vlogging as normal. Sending you lots of love. Thanks for watching. Bye.